Hey, how goes it? Ken Bozak here to talk about crypto and crypto accessories. And today I'm here with Dan Fishman. We're going to talk about the Bitcoin meetups that we do in Philadelphia. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, let people know who you are, how you got into crypto, and your role now as, what you do in the industry and space.
Right on. Good to be here, Ken. Hello, everybody. Sorry, let me turn my tablet volume down. It's actually feeding back. Anyway, like Ken said, my name is Dan Fishman. I've been part of the crypto community, I guess, going on 5 years now. Been doing meetups last probably 3 or 4 months now, and sorry, let me turn my volume down. It's actually feeding back. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm turning my tablet off. Anyway, been doing the meetup things for the last couple months, and it's been going really well. And I'm excited to be setting this next one up with you. We've had two or three Steam at meetups in the last couple months, and this will be
I
our
still hear the echo back there.
yeah. All right, sorry about that.
That's hilarious. That's the life of live streaming.
Apologies, good people. So yeah, I guess just a little bit about my background. I'm kind of a marketing and sales person. I've done marketing, promotions, sales, and event production on and off for the last 15 years. Also a little bit of consulting in a bunch of different industries. Now I'm in the process of starting my own business, and I got into crypto 4 or 5 years ago as an investment, but really, as I learned, about blockchain and what's possible to kind of change parts of society that are really in need of that. That's what really captivated me. So, like I said, I've been doing the meetup groups for going on 4 or 5 years now, and just met amazing people, learned so much, and the more that I do that, the more I want to be a part of it. So it's possible. As far as having some type of role beyond event organizer, I'd like to possibly do some kind of evangelizing for a project, or maybe even some promotions and marketing. It's great that you got us a sponsorship with Pivx, and you can kind of like add to what we're doing with some of your connections is pretty great to think about.
That was awesome of Pivx, the sponsor too, man. It was like, hey, you guys want to help a local small group, meetup grow, and they were like, dude, of course we want to help a meetup grow. And I was like, it's a Bitcoin meetup, and they were like, that's fine. I was like, oh, cool. It's not a Pivx meetup, and they're like, we don't care. It's a crypto-centric meetup, right? It's not
Right.
about bicycles, and we're like, no, it's about crypto. And they're like, all right, cool. So yeah, it's great to see
Right on.
projects like that, promote and sponsor the industry as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I was really excited to hear that they were based in Philly. I don't really know a whole lot about the project, to be honest with you, but I've heard, you know, friends and people I know having conversations, and comes up, and usually it's like a topic of interest. People are saying good things about it, which, there's a lot of stuff that comes and goes, and a lot of stuff that ends up being a scam, or just a project that was mostly marketing hype. So. It's cool to see one like that's been around for a while, and that wants to help us out. It's awesome.
Yeah, so a little bit more about these meetups, man. You know, the last one I was at, I think I missed two. There was a Steam It meetup in between, but the one I was at was where Anastasia spoke.
Hmm.
Another guy, I can't remember his name. Man, I'm usually good with names. He was with the local ATM. He had a Bitcoin ATM in Pennsylvania.
Hmm.
And
That might have been Paul. Yeah, Paul
Paul,
Zahner, I
thank
believe.
you.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think Mark Crypto Mac was helping him set some stuff up. So I mean, that was like,
Oh,
yeah, that was like some networking ties that wouldn't have probably otherwise happen. And
right. I mean, that's
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 where
that's
things
kind of,
happen. They
yeah,
domino and
definitely.
snowball.
Definitely, I'm hoping we can facilitate more of that, and really bring connections to people, bring opportunities. The money aspect is great. We all love that part of it, and seeing our the fruits of our labor grow, but it's also the human elements and the conversations you have with people, the things that you learn, and the opportunities that you can create is pretty amazing. So, like the one you're at, I thought was sort of a trial run in kind of moving away from general conversational format. And we've had speakers and presentations and on and off in the past. Like you've done a bunch of those, and you've helped us. Kind of. I think you may have brought Jack Tater that one time, which was.
I had Tone Vase even come and speak at
Oh,
one of
okay.
the meetups.
Got Tone. Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Well,
So
there was a couple of us. We all reeled him in. It was
yeah,
a bait and lure situation.
I know Anastasia, had a connection to him too, which is cool. So yeah,
Yes.
I mean, it's about giving people that we know that have things worth listening to and projects to talk about, a platform to express themselves, and get heard and basically do what we're talking about, like make a connection
Yep.
or just have a
And
good opportunity.
a safe place to learn too, because there's a community around you. If you're asking somebody, hey, how do I back this up, and
Mhm.
somebody says, don't show me that, you know what I mean, we'd be like, yo, why are you showing somebody what, you know what I mean? So you have a whole community to like entrust instead of individuals one-on-one, those scenarios where it's like, is this guy gonna set me up? Like, no, there's a whole group of people to make sure there's no bad actors in our circle,
Mhm.
and we try to wean those bad actors out if ever. And that's what I like about the meetups. People generally usually come out with no knowledge, and they're expecting a safe environment to learn where they won't be taken advantage of as noobs to the industry. Here, buy this ICO I've been bag holding for a year. You know what I mean? None
Yeah.
of that.
Right. Yeah. We don't have a lot of people shilling coins or anything like that, which is nice. And like you've been coming, I think, when I started coming out again a couple years ago, you were very active in promoting it. I mean, that's just your nature to promote something that you're really into. Obviously, Bitcoin's a huge part of that, but you're getting into a lot of other projects too, which is awesome.
Yeah, Spank
And
Chain and Edge, and no, they don't pay me. I just really like
oh,
the
you got a
projects.
you got a Decred tattoo now too?
Yeah, Decred tattoo. My
Yeah,
ink
man.
fell out, but I can get it touched up. Uh, I got
That's
my dash
that's a trip.
tattoo.
Yeah, I knew you had the Dash one, but the Decred one is new to me. I mean, you've been busy last couple months. Actually, last year and change, you've been really
Dude, I've been the
grinding
past
and
one
getting all over
month.
the
I've been in
place.
3 different conferences. I went from where did I go? Dallas to Austin to LA. Wow. Woo.
Hmm. And you were in Miami too, right?
Yeah. Oh man, I almost forgot one. That was all within like 8 weeks. I think
Yeah.
9 weeks.
So
I was on about 20 airplanes in a 10-week span. Oh man,
nice,
that's too
man.
much. I fly
That's
for
a lot of
Bitcoin, man.
traveling. That's a
That's the
lot of
only time I
traveling,
ever
but
traveled was for crypto.
hmm oh,
I got
hopefully.
more plans. I just got my passport.
Oh, you did. Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
really
I got a
cool,
lot
man. I
of
know
plans
you're
outside the US. The US is not crypto friendly. I got to visit the crypto friendly
right.
capitals.
You got to go where the action is, man.
Hmm.
So, that's awesome.
Japan's on the list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to
Japan,
check out Japan.
Japan crypto tour could be epic. Actually,
Everybody accepts
Asia.
Bitcoin there.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome.
So, what
I
do you think
I
about
definitely.
some of this recent news, man? Not to cut you off. I just wanted to see
Yeah.
what your
No.
thoughts were on, since we brought up Japan here. What your thoughts are on Binance getting kicked out of Japan abruptly. I kind of realized why that happened the next day, because Yahoo announced that they will be launching a cryptocurrency exchange in Japan. So it's
Mhm.
like, I see what happened there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody
Yahoo is
thought
definitely
Binance
like
was,
entrenched in Japan. That's
yep.
one of the few places where they're still thriving. So that's not surprising. I didn't know Binance. I mean, I heard the news that Binance was moving. I didn't realize it was because they got kicked out, which is definitely interesting and kind of
Oh
like
man, and he was on Twitter. The
shady.
founder was on Twitter
Yeah,
saying, "Oh, this is fake news. It's FUD. This is not true at all. We have connections with the Japanese Securities Financial Agency. Their
right.
service. No, you do not. You do not. You are like a baby in the world. You think you have a closer connection to anything government related than any journalist? No. These
Right.
journalists have been taking these, government officials out to dinner every night for years. Binance is a guppy, and yes, this proved to me that things like Binance and
Mhm.
Kraken and Gemini, they're guppies. Like we all think that they're the they can't get. No, no, no. Imagine if Google wanted to open up a
Right.
cryptocurrency exchange.
Yeah, that's a
Game
good point.
on.
I never really thought about that. I have been seeing commercials for this Apple pay with your phone thing, so that obviously they're going to start plugging and really, putting that out there. So it could happen. I kind of it's Binance is obviously a really big important exchange, but it's kind of weird to think about like Kraken or Coinbase or Gemini having to just up and relocate because some other,
Yeah, no,
bigger,
but that's what's gonna happen.
fish
And
came in.
dude, imagine having your currency on Binance and they get kicked out of the US because they're not doing any KYC up to 2 Bitcoin a day. And
Hmm.
now you have no option because you don't have your private key. You have no access to Binance to withdraw your crypto. That's a possibility. People are calling this FUD, but it's an exchange. It's possible. Just because it's negative doesn't make it FUD. You know what
I
I
mean,
mean?
exchanges go down. This does happen. Sometimes it's
I think Binance is a too big, too fast scenario for me personally. Like they came out of the gates
I
sprinting.
agree. I agree. I kind of do have some of that same feeling. It's like they're doing a lot of the right things, but
Yeah,
it's
they
like
look good. They look
when a
good.
company rises so quickly, and obviously things move very fast in the crypto space, but it's unnerving because things in the normal financial world generally don't happen, with that kind of speed. So it's really hard to tell even when you think, like the CEO has strong character and has integrity, that, hey, they just got kicked out of a company. So is there going to be interruption in service? Like, what's going on?
No, yeah, and you know what's another thing is I think it was Bittrex or something, Bitfinex.
Uh,
Somebody would it be? They just delisted 80 something cryptocurrencies overnight.
wow.
Could you imagine?
Really?
And now, Goldman Sachs is through Circle acquiring Poloniex, right? They acquired it
Right.
for $400 million, and there's
Damn.
rumors that in Asia there's going to be a sell-off of Bitstamp for about the same price. Now, if these exchanges want to become legit,
I thought Bitstamp was in Europe.
I think some
Oh,
Asian. Yeah,
okay.
I read the article just this morning or yesterday
Hmm.
morning, and
Yeah.
it looked like Asian investors are looking to gather the money to do it.
Yeah,
I
right
think
on.
that was the case. But my point is, imagine these exchanges doing an apocalyptic delisting because they want to become legit. They can't have all these securities and utility tokens.
So that's pretty crazy. So in that list of like 80 something coins, was there any prominent like projects that you thought were good? Like that's a
I
lot
actually
of
didn't.
that's
I hold all my keys. I'm not really worried about that stuff
well, no, I'm not
personally.
saying for your own coins, but like as far as stuff that's no longer tradable on what is it, Bittrex? Like
One of
are there
them, yeah.
any
I don't really use anything but Binance. I mean, that's my go-to
right,
exchange. But I don't really trust any of these exchanges with any more
right,
than like frivolous lottery ticket money. That's kind of how I
right,
look at it.
right. That's
I
probably
don't.
the smart way to approach it, you know. Do you trade regularly? Like do you
Not
trade on a daily
anymore.
basis?
No, I
No.
haven't traded in a little while since I got so busy moving around with the
Right.
crypto stuff. I do long short, so I'll do like a whole day. I will make one trade the whole day and try to catch like a 5 or 10%. Because
Nice.
if you're
Okay.
putting in enough, 5 or 10% is enough. But
Right.
losing 10% or 15% on a stop
Yeah.
loss because you're not paying attention, they add up. So I'm
Yeah.
just hodling and accumulating. I actually been buying on the way down. I saw people buying on the way up and I was like, cool, good for you. I mean, I hope you have a strong stomach. And as it's coming down, I'm still buying. I mean, this whole year is going to be an accumulation year considering the bull run from last year. To me, I feel like they're just giving back they're giving back our early opportunity that they stole from us with that big money moving in that didn't deserve it.
Yeah, I kind of agree. It's a little bit surprising that things have stayed as low as they have for as long as they have. But I agree. It's like it's a really good opportunity to pick up all the stuff that you thought, oh, I guess it's too late for me to get that or to get in at a good profit point.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm starting to try and do some of the same. I don't have a ton of money to play with right now, but
Yeah, put a
get what
dollar
I
in
can
and
here
wait
and
five
there.
years, or get on Steam it and earn it, instead of
Right.
putting
That's
fiat
that's
in.
kind of what I'm trying to do, and focus on my business and stuff too. So when that gets a little bit further along, I'll have more crypto play money.
Yes. Talking about fiat and stuff like that, they're talking about pairing USD on Binance as well, and a lot of people are excited about being able to get your, USD into an altcoin without having to go through Bitcoin. And I feel
That
like that's a very important educational step we're cutting out. I feel like that should be there. I feel like it needs to
yeah
be there. I feel like we should want people to go through Bitcoin to get into the space. I don't think the space is
yeah
ready for the floodgates to
uh,
open like this.
I'm not sure what to think about that. On the one hand, I kind of agree with you, and on the other hand, I kind of want the money to come in so there's more adoption and more
Where will
growth.
it go though? Are people educated enough to put that money into the right space? Because what I
No,
see is
mostly
people buy
no.
Bitcoin. They buy Bitcoin, even if it's to buy Bitcoin and buy in on an ICO. Most
Right,
people buy that Bitcoin and they'll hodl 20% because they
right.
already bought something. They don't want to dump that whole thing they just bought for one whole. So like they still hold a little. I've noticed the pattern. We're cutting
Mhm.
that pattern out, and everybody's excited. And I'm like, I don't think you guys are ready to see what necessarily will happen to the
Well,
market when you can get in an
here's
ICO with USD and no
yeah.
Ethereum, no Bitcoin need it.
Here's kind of what I see. I mean, I don't think it really, I agree with your thinking that you want people to approach things in a way that is logical and like has a progressive, like you're learning, you're going up the learning curve without getting too much pain,
Yep.
for your mistakes, which I totally agree with. I mean, it sucks when people lose money, but human nature is such that a certain amount of people are always going to want to take the brakes off, right? And in the
But isn't it a
financial
step
world, and
backwards?
what's that?
Isn't it a step backwards though? I mean, even China's getting away from pairing gold to the USD. Like people are stopping pairing things to USD, and we're getting the newest thing in to go a step back. That's all I'm saying. We're
Right.
tying our Ferrari to a horse and dragging it down the racetrack.
Oh,
That's what we're doing.
that's what you think. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
don't
You're looking
necessarily
at the
like.
charts on your exchange, and now it's not paired to BTC; it's paired to USD. I'm saying that. I'm like,
Gotcha.
that's
Okay.
gonna change
So
the
I didn't
concept.
I didn't get the full implication of it. Yeah, I guess in that sense, yeah, that's a step back, sure. But it's just
Yeah,
again,
and it
it's
would
just
drive
it's
down the
just
price
it's
of
just one
Bitcoin.
exchange. If other exchanges start doing that, then I'll be a little bit more
They're the
concerned.
biggest exchange in volume. They might be setting the precedent.
Yeah, but I feel like they're a little bit different in their philosophy and approach. I mean, it's kind
Yeah.
of hard to really know what the people running exchanges think, other than maybe like a Kraken or a Bittrex, who obviously have to have some kind of public presence and accountability.
Yes.
But like Binance is in Asia, and like
Not
it's
anymore. Malta.
well, oh, it's in Malta now. Okay, so it should be interesting. I
Malta.
mean,
I like
if
saying that. It's that Malta's marijuana in Spanish.
Yeah, sure.
Malta. It is. I didn't. It's just part of their language.
Right.
Fumar la
Okay.
Malta.
I'm not mad at that. Um,
But yeah, Binance
yeah, I
is in
don't know. I feel
marijuana.
like Binance is like hard to really know what they're thinking with a
Hmm.
lot of stuff that comes out. I mean, I like a fair amount of what I hear about them, but also like their customer service from what I've heard. I've never done this, so
I'm
it's
worried
all
about how they go
but
about listing coins because even
right,
GDAX and Coinbase are being subpoenaed for what they did with Bitcoin Cash or Bcash, and Binance will list a coin, and you just see the whoosh drop out of nowhere because it looks to be like insider trading. It looks like they're
right,
artificially pumping the price right at the release on their exchange.
right.
It's weird how Binance does their coin
Here's the thing,
announcements and
though. Yeah,
listings.
I mean, like that stuff is only going to not only continue, but it's going to with the greater waves of adoption and greater volume of money coming in. That's only going to intensify and increase because it's so hard to govern and police this stuff, right? Like it's just like anything else. I mean, like any anything that should be regulated, like there's going to be very little ability for any regulatory agency to do about a lot of this stuff. Obviously,
Right.
if it's a very prominent company
Well,
with a huge,
regulations only work on institutions, not on individuals.
right,
So
that's
they
what I
can
was gonna
only
say.
regulate,
They're big
businesses,
players,
not the
if they're
individual.
big players doing lots of business very publicly, then yeah. But there's going to be tons of people and tons of activity, and
Yeah, I mean, like I look at this as
who's
like
going to
how
track all that
movies
shit?
are
I mean,
downloaded right now. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't download. Remember the commercials on TV? You wouldn't steal from your grandma's purse. Why are you downloading a song on the internet without paying for it? That is going to be like,
right?
yo,
Stop
the Federal
downloading my music
Reserve.
illegally,
The
kid.
Federal Reserve will have a video like this. It's going to say, stop
You're
buying
right.
Bitcoin because it's stealing out of the banks, and you wouldn't want to steal out of your grandma's retirement fund, would you? You don't
Right.
want to steal from your mom's pension, do you? So stop giving your federal fiat to the crypto industry because you're killing the economy, and you're making the U.S. dollar worth less. You're taking
Right.
$9 for every
You're
$1 out of
ruining
circulation.
everything with your crypto.
That
Stop
ad's
it.
coming,
God damn you.
but there's
Stop
nothing they can
ruining
do
everything with
because
your crypto
look
activities.
look where we're at with downloading movies and music now. I mean, I can go into Google App Store or iOS and download an app that literally makes it so easy. It would be like entrapment to send me any letter or take me to court for downloading an album without paying for it. What they
Right.
do is they go to the center of that operation,
Hmm.
like you said, the bigger player, and they try to
Right.
regulate them, and
Yeah.
they try to enforce the regulations on them. But Kick-Ass Torrents has decentralized media file sharing. They can't go to that central authority and shut it down. It is a decentralized file sharing platform, and we're going to
Right.
take it a step farther and do it with finances as well, not just media, not just information, because Bitcoin's blockchain is to money what the printing press was to information and books.
Right.
They can't stop you now. They used to crucify people for writing a book and then try to pretty much wipe out anybody who read it, burn every book, period. And that would be how they kind of kept shit going for a long time. And then
Right.
the printer press came out. They were making books so fast they couldn't kill people fast enough. People learned what was up, and they couldn't stop it. We're doing it now with YouTube Live right now, with Periscope in other countries when wars are going off, and CNN saying everything's fine, and they're like, no, no, it's
Right.
not. I'm live. This is where I
Right.
live. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's a
Did you see that?
U.S.
All
bomber,
those
and this
planes
is my
flying?
supermarket.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I mean,
They can't stop
it's
it, and this
like
is what's going to happen with money, man. You know what's funny? The government will say Bitcoin's anonymous until they can track somebody who did some shit with it, and they're like, this guy bought drugs on the internet with Bitcoin, but we tracked him, but Bitcoin's anonymous, something, something, something. Like,
right.
wait, what the? Do you even know what you're saying? You keep saying anonymous like that. I don't think you really know what it means.
This is why I'm into crypto. It's for conversations like these that it's you can just kind of dissect and like speculate about things going on and how it's going to play out, and it's getting more and more interesting. So, the first couple of years we were like everything was theoretical, right? Like you
Yeah.
remember, like we were just kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting, and now it's like, oh, there's many layers to it. Like
A lot
there's
of projects are being built on the technology. Google announced 2 blockchain projects under the Alphabet Inc. that are being designed specifically in the technology space. One for accounting and one for data storage on the blockchain.
okay,
On
all
a
right, well.
blockchain. I don't know if it's the blockchain.
Right, right on. I know people always say it's on the blockchain, but
I
it's
know.
like,
I'm
well,
trying
which
so hard not to say
blockchain
that.
are you
Yes.
referring to? But
A
so I think,
blockchain.
yeah, right. I think we need to like try and help people see that it's not like one place. It's decentralized, so there's no central blockchain.
Yes.
um, but yeah, so it's funny you say that. I was watching TV last night or 2 nights ago, and there was some IBM commercial, and it was like, we can track this tomato from here to every point of the
Yeah.
thing. And I was like, it's got to be a blockchain commercial, and it's powered by the IBM blockchain. I was like, there it is. Like,
Did you see their Super Bowl commercial, bro? That was it for me.
no, I didn't see
Yeah.
that.
IBM, that blockchain, that commercial was their Super Bowl commercial, man. That went
Oh,
on during
okay.
the
All
Super
right.
Bowl. Yup.
Yeah,
Right?
so,
That face you made, dude, when I was watching, I was
right,
like, that word, they said the word.
right.
Do you remember when that used to
and
happen, when that was mentioned anywhere, though? I mean, like, anywhere mentioned Bitcoin or blockchain, it would be all over crypto Twitter, and now it's like, they really need to just dial it down a little bit. They're
yeah.
talking a lot about Bitcoin. They don't know what they're talking about. Stop!
Right, I know. It's like these mainstream articles are pretty funny. It's like, ah, they're still over here talking about price and
Ripple's the
taxes and
next
all this
Bitcoin.
like real basic shit.
Gotta love the
I
mainstream
mean, not that
media.
taxes and price aren't important, but like, um, there's a
Now
lot
we
of other
gotta
stuff
talk
going on
about
too
the
that's interesting.
technology, man. Yeah, nobody cares. It's funny. It's like we're talking about Lightning Network hitting the main net, and the Bitcoin price is coming down. I'm like, you just told me the technology just got better, but it's cheaper to buy some. Like, do you need a sign written in neon lights? That's how I feel. It's crazy, but you know,
Yeah.
people are thinking still that you have to buy a whole Bitcoin, which isn't true. You can put $10 into Bitcoin, dollar cost average. You can do it daily, weekly, monthly, 5, $10, whatever you want.
Right,
Little.
but I mean, not just Bitcoin. There's plenty other good, like
Mm-hmm.
fairly stable,
Well, whatever's
fairly
on Coinbase
like
is what I
like
recommend. You know, I don't give
Litecoin. I'm not
financial
crazy about
advice.
Ethereum personally. What's that?
I don't give financial advice, but I usually say whatever's on Coinbase seems to be a fair bet in the long term.
Right,
That's all.
like any of those are solid, I think, and
You know,
probably
speaking
quite
of
a few others.
Coinbase,
But
they're adding ERC20 tokens. They just
yeah, so
announced
tell me
that.
about that. Okay, so I just saw somebody post about that. What
Yeah.
exactly is that
So
about? Like,
shout out to Omar Bam because he did a video on this morning, but I was checking out a little bit. They haven't announced exactly which ERC20s, but
mhm.
Coinbase did announce that they are going to be implementing support for ERC20s. I don't
Okay,
know
so that's
if this
basically.
means I don't know
uh,
if it means though if you have your ICO tokens sent to your Ethereum address on Coinbase, if that means you'll get your ICO's tokens, because in the past that wasn't
right,
the case because of how they designed their wallets. There is no individual wallet for receiving in that manner. They can't
right.
really track it. They just kind of keep all the damn coins. I don't know what they're doing with all those coins. They're probably selling them or keeping them, but they're definitely not giving them back to you. But does this make it possible? And does this mean I will get my ERC20s that I sent to my Coinbase? Like, there's so many unanswers about it, but it is on the table. And I see it as a last ditch effort for attention on things like the Edge wallet, which supports all ERC20 tokens, like Spank Chain Spank. I have my ERC20 tokens on my Edge wallet, and I can send you some Spank. You can send me some Spank. Shout out to
Well,
Tiffany Hayden from
I'm trying to
the
I'm
Edge
trying to cut
team.
it down on
She
that,
sent me
Kenny.
some.
So
But
you can
the
hold it,
thing
but I
is, you can
appreciate the
do
thought.
any ERC20 token on these wallets. So now this exchange, Coinbase, they have to have something, right? I mean, Binance is coming up big in the world. Abra has announced that they'll be doing 20 cryptos and 50 fiats. Robinhood is stealing a lot of thunder. Coinbase needs to, like, you know, I don't even know if they were ready for this
Yeah, I
announcement
mean,
because of how little
honestly,
information there
I
was.
don't think Coinbase is really too worried. I mean, they're kind of like the one of the big stable players in the kind of in the realm in between fiat and crypto. They were founded, I believe, by an ex Goldman Sachs guy. They're licensed in New York. They've got a lot of, kind of clout as far as the people that are running it, and kind of like now that it's doing the vault storage, what is it, the $10 million minimum vault storage thing? Like they're
Oh,
moving,
yeah, for the
they're
institutionals.
they're they're on the institutional level
Yeah, it's
now.
called
So
Coinbase
it's like,
Commerce. It's called Coinbase
right.
Commerce.
So I mean,
Or
as
no,
as, as
custody.
far
Sorry,
as
there's so much they're doing. Sorry.
as far as the retail stuff, yeah, they're going to lose some market share to people using all those other things you mentioned, but they're still growing very
Hmm.
very quickly, and they had the scaling issue a while ago. It seems like they mostly solved that, from what I heard. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll affect their bottom line a little bit in certain parts of the market, but they're going to be probably more focused on that, that big bank money.
Yeah, yeah. It's called
So
Coinbase Custodian, and they're gonna.
right,
It's $100,000 just to sign up. That's paid money. You don't get to invest that money, and
right.
it's
That's
a
just the
$1
setup.
million
That's an
dollar
account
minimum
setup fee,
investment.
basically. Right.
Woo!
Yeah.
That
So
money hasn't
that's
started moving in yet, dude. Imagine. I'm excited. I'm waiting for that. That hasn't happened yet.
what's that?
that Coinbase custodian thing where they're going to have that institutional capital where
Oh,
they're actually ensuring. No, it hasn't
receiving
initiated
funds in it
yet.
yet?
Not
Okay.
yet.
Yeah, that'll be big. I mean,
That'll be
so that's kind of
huge.
where we are at this kind of midway point between, like companies moving tens of millions into like the
Hmm.
hedge fund level where it's like a couple hundred billion in a couple hours or minutes or whatever it is.
And that's
Um,
long term. They're not shorting it. They're not dumping it. That's for people's retirements.
right, right. So it's definitely changing the financial world, but it's kind of like hurry up and wait. It's still in the making. But this is a big year. I mean, we're all the stuff that we're talking about, the commercials, these giant companies getting involved. Um, it's happening. It's like again, go thinking back a couple years to what's going on now. It's like you can't ignore it. Like you can't like there's just it's hard to even keep up with all the stuff that's going on. There used to be just a couple, outlets and couple forums, and now it's like Twitter, Telegram, Reddit, like it's everywhere. I mean, for
Hmm.
people that are into it. And it's an obsession, but it's like it's one of those things. It's a fine line between wanting to continually like consume this shit and like, God damn it, I got to turn my phone off for at least a day because
Well,
I
that's the curse
got
of
too
wanting to
much.
contribute. You know what I mean? Like, look, dude,
Mhm.
you and me and the people that contribute. It's like for us, we have to put ourselves in that position where we're constantly being beat down by the information. Where the people that are just trying to be participators, they don't have to contribute and watch and listen to all of this. You know what I mean? Like, this
Mhm.
is here for people that just need it and then they're in. If you're already in, turn my YouTube channel off. Stop watching. Turn off CoinMarketCap. Stop looking. Delete Blockfolio.
Yeah, but
It.
I think you don't realize like you have the personality that a lot of people it's like they like the way you share information and you
But here's
talk
the thing,
in a
though. You're
very
gonna hear
direct
me
way.
tell you that
There's
LightPay has sold the fuck out. And now you might have some doubts in your portfolio that you did not have the other day because of this new information. And that new information today shouldn't have affected your previous yesterday's confidence in 5 years from now sell off. So you bought something yesterday to sell it off in 5 years, and the news in 24 hours has just weakened that confidence because
welcome
you
to
watched my
crypto.
show. But
Welcome to
don't watch.
crypto.
Don't look
You
into
know?
it. Once you know you're going to buy this shit, once you have that confidence, like, look, I'm going to buy some Litecoin. Once you already got that and you're like, I'm buying it for a year, I'm buying it for 2 years, this is going to be
Right.
the future, stop looking at it because now you're going to get emotional. Maybe you set it and forget it with that reoccurring dollar cost average stuff.
That's one
But
of
like,
those things. Like people just have to experience that for themselves. It's like, unfortunately, like I appreciate it. Like you want to help minimize the discomfort or whatever.
yes.
But I don't know
You
if
don't
there's
need
any
to know
way
too
to.
much. It's like if you learn exactly how a microwave really pops popcorn, you may freak yourself the fuck out and you'll never buy one. You may scare yourself out of
That's
using
not
this
necessarily a bad thing,
technology.
though. That's not
Not,
necessarily a bad
but it
thing.
is now. See, you're saying that because maybe you look too far into it. You know what I'm saying? Now you know too much. You're afraid of the
Right,
technology that
but
could
but
increase
here's
the
here's
quality
the
of your life.
here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Like a higher level of personal responsibility and accountability is required, and that's a good thing, right? People are going to come into the space with varying levels of you know acceptance of their own responsibility,
Yeah.
and some people are still going to come in with the mentality that everything should be backed up on the you know on the server end when there's none of that. I mean, you can back up your coins and stuff, but if you make a mistake and send it to the wrong address or to the wrong kind of blockchain or whatever, like that's something that is not going to be reversed, and a certain amount of people are going to get upset about it. And I empathize, but it's like that's part of one of the things you have to accept in order to really make the switch from the fiat world to the crypto world.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, I think there's a lot of people, again, people just getting into it too fast and reading stories. Oh, my brother just lost $3,500 by sending
I
it to a wallet.
know.
But then, like, other screw ups
But
happen too. Like a good
even then,
friend
you
of
have
ours.
BitConnect.
Like, no,
Oh,
this is no.
my
Hold
my
on, hold
boss
on,
got into
Kenny. A
BitConnect.
good friend of ours, did that and was fortunate that he got the coins back. And I'm not
Oh
sure if it
yeah.
was a glitch with the software he was using or if it was just a mistake because of bad Wi-Fi. But, um, you know, it's
We're
not.
using a alpha to beta technology that isn't ready for the mainstream, right? So hear me out, hear me out.
Yeah,
When you come into this industry, you know that this is not ready for the mainstream. You're paying a premium to experience a technology that isn't finished. People
yeah,
buy the newest iPhone to have nothing but bugs. You just spent $1,200 on the top of the line technology, the newest of the new, to have an awful user experience just so you can brag about being an early adopter. And that is what everybody is doing in crypto, except they're kicking and screaming the whole fucking way. Like, you're buying this early technology that isn't ready as an investment because when it is ready, that chance you took will have now rewarded you. And you're going to kick and scream the whole way to the finish line. To
right.
me, people in crypto that are investing in crypto that are kicking and screaming, it's
Yeah.
like you're trying to get these gains at the gym, and every time you do a crunch, you're like, I hate crunches. I hate crunches. My belly hurts. But you want abs. Like, just shut up and do the work or don't come to the
Right.
damn gym.
That's what it comes down to. So are you going to try and appease all the people that have that instant gratification mentality? No, I mean, like, you probably not. I mean, you want to help them see the light, but human nature is that people are going to go about things the way they go about them. A lot of times that's irrational, a lot of times it's stupid, but it's just, I don't know. We all have weird shit to figure out. And
True.
unfortunately, it sucks when you're doing it using real money and making mistakes, but live and learn is like, I don't know if there's any
I
other way.
wanted I wanted to bring this story up. I think I can slide it. Yeah, I can. People can read it. I think I can make it big enough. I'll put it right down here, right under my chinny chin chin. All right. So there's a story here, and I wanted to see because this kind of just came out, and I don't know if you heard, but LightPay is pretty much done. The Litecoin Foundation just announced to the entire LTC community, and I'll read this real quick for you guys. We wanted to inform you that a couple of days ago, the Litecoin Foundation was contacted by Kenneth Sar or whatever, the CEO of LightPay, informing us that he has ceased all operations and is preparing to sell the company. Prior to that, all right, we can just cut that out. I mean, that's really all you needed to freaking know, guys. I mean, seriously. And I look at this, and the way I may phrase this as an individual video, because I will be making a thing on this, is sort of Charlie Lee got scammed into promoting a scam and was scammed by scammers into scamming everybody, because this scam scammed everybody. It scammed the foundation. They not necessarily a scam in that sense, but
Well, let me ask you like
they
a little
tricked
bit about
us.
that because I really don't know a whole lot about LightPay other than I'm guessing it's similar to BitPay with Litecoin. But like, how was people's money stolen? Like,
Well, they used funds to build LightPay up to what it's worth now, and apparently he's selling it off, which won't look good for anybody who buys it. First off, I mean, who's
Mhm.
gonna buy that now? And what developers will contribute? You know what I mean? Like,
So
it's not
did
gonna look
they,
good.
well, like with this announcement, are they suspending operations? Is it shutting down or is it
Oh
just
yeah,
that?
no, they're ceasing all operations, and I
Okay,
think I'm not
so
100%, but I'm pretty sure they have some
uh
patent technology on the transactions of money transmitting
yeah.
from Litecoin's blockchain to fiat through commerce and stuff like that,
uh
and that was all helped with the foundation's support. And basically, used efforts, if not, finances, efforts from the foundation. So stolen efforts, stolen valor, stolen everything, and basically is selling it all off. And this, I mean, Litecoin was doing absolutely fine before this. Like, and I saw this a little weird. Like, yes, this is great, awesome for Litecoin to see more things, but I was also thinking, we just mentioned this Coinbase Commerce, where Coinbase is literally designing the same build-in for any business to accept Litecoin at the merchant side. So LightPay was basically just one outlet of what Coinbase Commerce was going to do for multiple outlets. So it was kind of like, oh, good luck, but I appreciate your efforts. And now this. So it's suspicious. And it's funny because my thought, light pay, I think PayPal may acquire it because PayPal is, grasping at straws, trying to get patents on things and saying that they have these rights to money moving on the internet. And it's not true, but they're really trying to build up that I don't know what the hell to call it. It's like just straight BS.
They need to add something to their portfolio
So
that has
this
a
could be
crypto
it.
component, and that's a good possibility. I agree. I mean, Peter Thiel's saying a lot about, the value of crypto lately. So we'll see, man. That's pretty interesting. Sucks that Charlie Lee got, caught up in helping out in a way that, he didn't know was gonna
That
happen.
just proves to me it can happen to all of us, and that's like the thing.
Yeah.
Like I love Spank Chain, but for all I know, could be a scam. Like I don't fucking know. I just know that I love the project. I met the team. I interviewed the founder, but at the end of the day, I really don't know. And
Right.
and
I mean,
that's
it does take it takes work to really keep up with developments in a project. A lot of things happen, like teams split up. Like Swarm City is a good example. Great idea.
yeah,
Do they have a working app yet?
that's a good
I've never
fucking
had
call,
one.
bro.
Never heard of it. I mean, as far as I know, it was just an idea and a Facebook group, and a Telegram group. I mean, no disrespect to the Swarm team if they have something, but let's see it and use it, or stop talking about it, because I don't have an endless amount of time to entertain a great idea that doesn't have a functionality utility attached to it.
I think next year, we're not next year. I think this year, this whole year from now until the end of this year will be
Yeah.
the year of productivity because so much money has come in. I mean, look at all the money these ICOs have raised. It's not hundreds of thousands. We're talking millions of
Right.
millions,
I mean, Telegram.
billions in some,
I think Telegram, they're estimating 1.7 billion, which is like
billions.
insane.
It's
That is
insane,
an
but what are they going to do with that
insane
money?
fucking
What are they
amount
going
of
to
money
do?
to raise
What
an
about
IPO.
EOS? Everybody in the chat keeps bringing up EOS. That is awesome for EOS. EOS is a great idea that does not even have a platform yet. It doesn't exist yet.
Oh, I didn't know that. So how they're just all these
You're gonna
EOS
claim
tokens that are really
them. Well, they're on the Ethereum blockchain, and when they make their own chain, you're gonna have to tie them in and port them over to their own blockchain and
Right.
authorize them. But still, people have invested how much money in EOS? EOS
now
doesn't
wait.
even exist really.
So EOS was founded by Dan and Ned, or just
Yes,
Dan?
Vladimir, right? I believe, yeah.
Dan Latimer, yeah.
From Steam It. And they
Yeah.
came up with some crazy next level shit, bro. Like I was like, yo, like for real, it's next level on paper.
Yeah,
Let's
paper,
make it
right.
applicable, bro. Let's apply this. Let's turn it on. Let's break it. Let's break it. We broke Ethereum with CryptoKitties, and it was the best thing ever.
I'm with you in spirit, man, but you got to build it before you can break it.
Yeah. No, but that's what I'm excited. You got to build it, break it, and then it works. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't
Right.
work out of the gate. And that's the thing. People are investing all this money. What is it doing? Like even Vitalik has said, like, Ethereum has raised how much and what problems have we solved? It's all memes and Lambos, like, and
Right.
he's not wrong. It really is all memes and Lambos.
I know some things are going to happen eventually, but that's why I'm so big on Steam, because it's a project that does all the
Somebody
stuff.
just commented Steam, dude. As soon as you said that, go on.
It's a project that does all the stuff that not perfectly, but really, really well, really well. And shout out to Phil Knerk for putting me on that, because it's like it's I love it, man. It's like
Steam is game changing.
yeah. I don't think it's so funny that it gets
stuck in beta, though.
It gets no media attention.
Well, that's because it's stuck in beta permanently. It's
Well,
never going to move forward. They publicly said that when Dan left.
I don't think that's true. I mean, I believe
They said that. They announced it.
I'm not saying that Dan didn't say that, but from what I've been hearing through the grapevine,
They're going to keep building on top of it. We'll see something like Busy or busy.org.
Busy.org, and
That is beautiful, but it's Steam
they
It.
have a whole ecosystem. There's DLive, DTube, DSound.
DLive
Busy.
sucks. I tried so hard, but it's still in beta or alpha or whatever.
Here's the thing. it's rolling. It's rolling very slowly right now, but it's rolling. And like we'll see what happens. But Steam's working well. D2 works half the time. I don't know. Like I don't use it that much, but I've tried to watch a dozen or so videos and watch maybe three or four. But Steam, just like all this shit, like Steam has has the potential to be everything.
It does.
Doesn't it? It's like it could be a whole economy. It could be a whole I don't know. Like you see,
can I get cynical? I love cynical. Can I get cynical, or is that too bad? Like I love cynical.
I mean, I'm not like unrealistic. I know it's
exactly. I know. I know.
It's problems,
but like, all right. So hear me out. I thought of like I'm not doing this, government, if you're listening, which you are, NSA. I'm just saying I thought of it. Maybe you could hire me. Maybe I'm the guy that you guys are like, oh, this dude thought of something. Maybe
if you're listening, don't hire this man. Do not hire this man.
Hold on. Give me 1 second so I can become very hireable. Very, very hireable.
Productivity or lack thereof. No.
Shout out to my sponsors, by the way, King Palm, for providing me a lifetime supply of cannabis accessories. But no, all right. So hear me out.
Here's bro. You're getting your edge on, your spank chain on, and your sponsor cigars on, all in a single video. I'd say things are going well.
I'm a walking bill. I'm a sellout. I'm a whore. I'm a crypto whore.
I'll stop it. So be cynical.
All right. Like, no, here's the cynical thing on Steam it. So imagine this, right? You may sell drugs and guns. You have a lot of drugs and a lot of guns.
If anybody's listening, I don't do those things.
But if you do, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying this is something that can be done.
I get it. I'm just, I'm playing around.
I know you get it. I'm making sure whoever is listening with a badge gets it. All right? So if you're selling guns and drugs, you have to pay your rent. You need to show the government where your rent money comes from. Otherwise, they're gonna be like, bro, where are you getting this $5,000 a month for your house? You don't have a job on the books. You don't pay taxes. So what if you sell your drugs and guns, right, for fiat? You buy Bitcoin, right? You open up 2 Steemit accounts, one that you publicly use all the time, one that you use to like funnel Bitcoin into, and you just tip. I don't either, but it has to be said.
I don't know if I agree with.
If you have a Steemit account where you're writing stuff and some random person gives you $5,000 a month in crypto, you can tell the government, hey, I write articles on Steemit. I make a lot of money through donations on Steemit. That's how I pay my rent. Don't worry about the drugs and guns. I make it on Steemit. So like, these tools that we use, we have to know that bad actors will take advantage of them and that the government will use that to create regulations to protect us from it. And that's what worries me, that the technology is so good. It is such a double-edged sword that I do think cynically, because I'm trying to prepare myself for what the big actors are going to do.
I was listening, interestingly enough, to one of your videos earlier today with, what's his name, JSnip4. Who's okay, he knows a lot about crypto, and you were saying how you were I think the thing you mentioned, which I'm trying to get at, I'm trying to remember the wording, is like a do no harm approach. Like someone in the regulatory space said something along those lines, which was something that's news worth getting excited about, and I agree. So I think, like, even though the scenario you're talking about, I mean, there are people that are probably looking for ways to do stuff like that. There are at least a few people that are aware and awake enough within those realms of the lawmaking part of the government or whatever, that see the value in like not getting too involved too quickly.
If you get in the way, you're going to get steamrolled. That's basically what you're saying, because Bitcoin is a steamroller, man. Government's just a thing in the way. A thing in the way. I don't think government is an invention, right? Like any other
Sure.
technology that is an invention. It's
It's just,
just an
yeah,
invention.
technology, right?
And it's analog technology, right? Instead of nodes digitally communicating, we have physical people that are nodes, governors, senators, politicians. They're all just nodes that talk from mayor to governor to whatever down the chain. And now what we're doing is we're making them digital. But that's going to take away their physical jobs. So, like, government politicians and all these people, they know that blockchain is to them what this cash register machine is to the cashier at McDonald's that's about to replace that job. That McDonald's employee that does the "what do you want to eat" button pushing, all that
Right.
is a congressman that goes money allocated
I
here,
mean,
money allocated there.
I'll say that I think you may be overestimating the vast majority of people in Congress. Like there are a couple that probably see the big picture, but
When the federal
I don't
government has
think.
shut down twice in the past, what, 20, no, 2, 3 years, I think they shut down twice. Have you
Yeah,
really
something like
noticed the
that.
difference? Did anybody, and it was for months, it wasn't a week. We
Right.
went without federal government for months. Now,
Right.
yes, some people that depended on welfare and all that, yes, they did see an effect. But we also saw a very small bleak in our history, local community support for those in need. I saw a bunch of stories flourish that didn't get mainstream media attention about local people helping those who were affected by the federal backout, where they didn't have the food stamps or the government assistance. The community sprang up and was there. What we're doing by making us depend on the government is taking away our own relations. When people aren't, they don't worry about their neighbor because the government takes care of their neighbor, and they realize
Right.
until they're in
Okay.
a
Sure. Well,
situation.
let's talk about that then. So I see a lot of what you're talking about. Like Steam has the potential to, be a way for people to like ask for help and have community
Yes,
support it. And like a lot of crypto, like the thing that happened with Andreas when he,
dude, good point.
was really upset, like he was having a hard time and he's done so much for the community and really not asked for anything in return. And
Hmm.
when he did that, he got what he's been deserving for a long time. So like that's a good example. And like I think like things like crowdfunding and obviously the ICO thing is a form of that, but like Indiegogo, but with Steam or some other crypto project, right? Like you can ask for money to support a project or for your personal, you know, emergency or whatever. I've seen it done a little bit on Steam, but I just feel like there's so much potential for
Yeah.
that. And this event that I'm going to, the Steam Creators Conference, is going to have a pitch fest in the as part of the event. So I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's going to be a couple hundred people at least, but it's going to be the whole kind of range of personalities, of backgrounds, and it should be really interesting. I'm really excited. So anybody listening, it's Steam, STEEM creators.com is the conference that's going on the 13th through the 15th in Vegas. I'll be speaking on that as part of the meetup panel and doing some other stuff as well.
Dude, that's
If you're into
awesome, man.
Steam, I'm trying to get Kenny on board. He's been globetrotting so much the last couple weeks that he's been hard to lock down. But I think you would fit perfectly in
Well,
there.
you said it was in Vegas during the 15th, right?
The 15th, yeah, the 13th to the
I
15th.
might actually do that because I'm thinking about going to Vegas for 420. So I
Hmm.
may just stay for the entire week or so at like an Airbnb because I have found an app called Home Away and I believe they accept Bitcoin. So I'm gonna check that out.
Right.
It's like cheapair.com except for, a place to crash. So now I can fly with Bitcoin directly and crash somewhere with Bitcoin directly.
Yeah, and Vegas is pretty reasonable if you want to stay in like
Oh,
a
dude, it's
fancy
so
spot or you
cheap.
want to
It
get an
really is cheap though.
Airbnb, you can get someplace fairly decent for like 35, $40 a night. And and if you want to while out and do the whole, round the clock Vegas party thing, you could do that too. Um, I don't know if I'm gonna be doing that at the conference, but
Well,
there's
yeah, you
other
gotta talk.
yeah, right. There's other activities going on, like people going to gun ranges and indoor. This is something I really
The
want to do.
Legends Room in Vegas, there's the Legends Room. If you're a crypto enthusiast, that you almost have to go to the Legends room.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to do that then.
I don't
That
think you
and
know what
yeah,
the Legends room is, do
indoor
you?
skydiving.
Do you know what the Legends room is?
I'm guessing it might be a strip club.
Yeah, it's a strip club. But if you have 5,000 of their own created cryptocurrency, you get half off treatment and free entry. So if you buy
Oh
5,000
God.
of their coin on the way and show them, you get in.
Uh-huh.
And you can transfer that. So if you buy it and hold it, you can send it to somebody else that's a friend of yours who's visiting Vegas. And it's
Uh-huh.
almost like staking it. They can give you a little bit while they're using it. So they don't have to buy the whole, like, master node or whatever you want to call it. It's
Right.
pretty cool.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I love
I'm not
Vegas,
sure I'm
dude.
ready to drop my crypto on that myself,
They had a
but
McDonald's, I think, that even accepted Bitcoin. I was walking by, and Bitcoin
yes,
ATMs
there
on
is
Bourbon Street,
in
I
the
think.
Fremont Street area.
Fremont Street, that's where it was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
dude.
saw that too.
Vegas is so what's up. Like, I mean, dude, I almost now I have to go to this Steemit thing, man. Damn it! I just got back from flying on like 20
you had a
airplanes.
couple weeks to relax. Well, he's due, but not that much longer.
No, I got it. I really do want to go, man. And, it's going to be, I'm excited for tomorrow. Guys, if you're watching, by the way, we're going to have a meetup in Philly tomorrow at the Institute Bar. A very, very bring your notebook kind of bar, the Institute Bar. And, yeah, man, we're going to school you guys. I'm going to do a little talk about my walkabout in crypto. I've been to shit, man, every major event except maybe one or two, but that's because they were happening at the same time. I was already at one, so it's
Right.
like I
Yeah, you
can't
got a lot
do
of stuff
both.
to talk about, man. I hope you are ready to be on the spot for a while. No,
I'm
obviously
always
you can
ready
say
to be
whatever
on the
you want,
spot.
as for as long as you want. But I want to hear about the stuff, and I'm sure other people are
Oh
listening
man, I've
and they'll
come
want to hear
across
about it
many
too. So
projects. I've had many conversations with traditional investors. I've even spoken with people that are in the Treasury, the Federal Reserve. Yeah,
really,
dude. Yeah, a couple,
where
dude.
was this?
The most recent one is South by Southwest.
Oh, okay. So
I
that was
was
wow. You
Dude, I
fed people in
weaseled my
trust.
way into a
Okay, Ken.
VIP dinner that was like a five. I think, dude, it was an expensive dinner. It was like either a $1,000 to $5,000 plate dinner or something. And I just walked in and sat down and was like, cool. No, I
No
sat
one,
in the corner, dude. I sat in the
no one
corner
asked you
in
for a
the.
ticket or anything. You
I
just rolled
sat,
in.
dude. I rolled in with the mob, sat in the corner, and like there was names and stuff, and I would just like brush. They'll find a seat. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe some people didn't show up. I don't know. I
Oh
no one
God,
ever
I love
asked.
it.
I ask for forgiveness when I'm at these conferences, not permission, dude. Never ask for
Right.
permission. Yo, I'm
Right.
being dead serious. Just walk into the conference and you'll have a better time. Might not even have to buy a ticket. Like,
I know. I remember Brandon said he did the same thing at Consensus last year. Yo, what's up, Brandon? If you're listening, we miss you, buddy.
yo, me and Luciano, shout out to Luciano. Me and him walked into the Consensus meetup for Tech Week in Philly.
Oh,
For
did you?
yeah, for the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, that conference.
Nice.
I walked into that room in sweatpants and a tank top. A
That's your,
fucking
that's
not
your,
a t-shirt, a tank top. I was so not ready, bro. Like there was people
nice.
wearing shoes that used to be alive, like alligator shoes and shit were in the room. And
Right.
here's me looking like a straight homeless dude that walked in off the street. But the ratio of people who knew anything about Ethereum to people who knew shit about
There
Ethereum,
you
I was
go.
1 to 100 right there, man. Like I had a
Right.
circle around me after a while. I was talking to people. They didn't know anything about the fork or why it mattered. They didn't understand that Ethereum Classic was staying proof of work and not moving to proof of stake and why that mattered. And I was like, ooh, let's talk tech. I can't talk money, but I can talk tech. I'm a techie. I like it. It's what I do. And it was cool. So I recommend it, guys. If you see something in your area and you live there and you don't have to fly out, just show
Yeah.
up. Just show up.
Yeah, definitely.
There's
Definitely.
the power of the selfie stick is like so underestimated. Just get a selfie stick and start recording and walk right past security or whatever you got to do and be like, "Oh, I'm live streaming for the event. I'm media." Do do do. I mean,
Nice.
it works for me.
You're
And
listening. Pro tips from this man. Take.
I want to try the reflective vest thing too. I want to have like a backup and have like a reflective vest in my pocket in
Okay,
case the
that's not
selfie
a
stick
bad
doesn't.
idea. You could
Right, you
probably
whip
get
out
one on
the
Amazon for 15-20 bucks.
right, you whip one of those out
Your
and
clipboard and some of those safety goggles, maybe.
yeah.
You know?
You find somebody who has some bags that they need carried in, and you're just like, "Whoop, I got this," and you work your way in like Wedding Crasher style.
Right, right. Like it. I like it. So you don't need to crash the meetup if you're coming out tomorrow night, though.
No,
So
it's free, guys. It's at the Institute
Institute
Bar,
Bar,
6:30 to 9 p.m.
North 12th Street. Very
There's a
cool.
link below.
Yeah, click on the link, find out what's going on. We got Kenny, we got James Felty, who's presenting his video.
He's so quiet, yo. I feel like he should be way more prominent in the industry because he could give so much. I mean, you know he does, but
Well,
like he's a sleeper in the industry, man.
He really is. Like that's kind of why I was like, all right,
he's a sleeper. Like people need to start to recognize some of these.
He's told me things about the project, and I kind of half get it, but he's kind of like technically a little bit above my where I'm at a lot of the time, at least in my ability to pay attention, because crypto has a lot of chains of jargon that sometimes get hard to keep up with. You know what I'm saying? No, seriously, James is a really sharp dude, and I'm excited to hear about his project. And also, we got the PIVX team coming through. Talking about
Snappy. I think he's actually showing up in person. Snappy from PIVX.
See, I wasn't sure if we were getting
I think he's bringing swag. He said.
Okay, I mean, I posted that.
Sounds like a physical thing.
Like a T-shirt or at least a button or something.
I need hats. I like my hats. I'm a big fan.
You probably got a pretty nice lid collection by now. And then we've got other people. We've got developers. We've got our Steam crew coming through. It's gonna be a good time. I'm expecting probably at least 20 people. There might be hedge funders there. There might be.
Last
lawyers.
time there was brokers in the room. People from New York were in there. They drove down.
Oh, that's right. Was that guy from New York? Did he come down specifically for the meetup?
Yeah, dude.
That was. You probably heard our the last live stream that we did. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I think that's why we do these. We have to talk.
What's up, Jesse? If you're listening, what's up, buddy? Appreciate it.
And you know what, dude? Shout out to Brandon Rizzono for all that he did, like basically getting me into the Philly meetup and kind of starting it when I first got into it. That was awesome. Let me see one more. I know there's so many people and all the names are slipping because it's been a while, man. The meetup kind of split up and you luckily took it over.
That's why we got to try and keep it going. But like Phil. Daniel.
Thank you. Yeah, Daniel for sure, man.
Anastasia. Evelina. We miss you, Evelina. Anastasia just moved to AZ.
Shout out to Evelina.
Who else?
I miss Evelina. She's been hitting me up. We talk. I hope she's
cool.
She's going to a meetup, I think, and somewhere else. I don't remember, but it's a travel. She's traveling.
People have done well for themselves. People have, gone on.
Ryan Strauss. Ryan,
what's up, buddy? Miss you
too.
For
sure, Ryan Strauss. That's my boy, man.
Shift. So it's a springboard too for a lot of people.
A lot of us, like a lot of people took off from that meetup and they're now in the industry because Brandon works with Pompey, which is like a South American cryptocurrency wallet.
And they're gonna take Steam. It's like I'm super excited. I didn't know. I knew we did something with them, but keep it up, man. You're doing good things, Brandon. Miss you, pal.
So guys, I really hope we see some people show up. If you know anybody in the Philly area, maybe send them this video or the link.
Relatively chill people too, though. Like we don't want any ramrods. No, I'm kidding. We're pretty open. Just kind of like see what's going on, and everybody's friendly. It's like totally cool.
We're gonna have to get a link for the Vegas event, the Steam at Vegas event. I'll put that in the description box right after this video goes on after liveness.
Cool.
I'll do that for sure.
As far as what we got planned, so I mean, I think what we have the advantage of being one of the oldest and longest running, if not the longest running crypto meetups in the area, in the city.
And it's all grassroots, by the way, guys. Yeah, all grass. No ICOs, none of that shit.
And I've been to a lot of other blockchain meetups, which is cool to see that they're happening. Like they all kind of have their own communities to some degree.
But they're not as open
a lot
source,
of them are
man.
very technical and like not to knock anything, like, because obviously technology is at the core of all this stuff, but too much techie stuff can get a little boring. And our meetup has character, and it's not just about the technology or about the money. It's a cool community to interact with, and we want to do more workshops, more kind of structured events. Um, and see more blockchain things happening in the city. I mean, there's so much potential with the universities here,
That's why I
with
like
all the
Pivx.
businesses here. So it's like we want to kind of promote and like be a part of that in some way, shape, or form. And I think we're doing that with the events that we've been doing, both with Steam focused events and the crypto events. So. Um, that's the gist. Cool things
Yeah.
happening 2018.
And do you have a schedule yet for these meetups for the coming months? Is there any kind of calendar or
So
any
yeah, I mean,
YouTube
I
or
think
Facebook page?
uh, I have plans. I don't have the schedule yet, but basically that's what we're gonna do
Okay.
after this meetup is kind of like look at the rest of the year, figure out what are the good topics to cover. I mean, we have a pretty good sense of that, but also what speakers bring in, what are the people already in the community that we can get to share what they're doing, as well as attracting other people. We've had Tone Bays, we've had Jack Tater, we've had some other cool people.
Now we're getting snappy from Pivx. I'm excited.
Right. And I'd say like the people that are presented, like Phil and Anastasia and you, like those are all really good presentations that everybody has been like into.
Hey,
And,
Matt killed it too. Crypto
and
Matt did
Mac,
a
yeah, shout out
he
to
did a
Mac. He
one
was
on
really
the
good.
exchanges and
Like
stuff, man. That was
how
awesome.
many other meetups do you get to hear from somebody that works from a major crypto exchange, like give you
Multiple exchanges
the
too,
how
man. He's a
tos.
veteran in this space.
Right. Like those are the people that we've been fortunate to attract and connect with. And we're just gonna kind of expand on that. And so we're working out a schedule for the rest of the events for this year. We're going to get possibly a new venue at the Institute. I'm not sure. It's a nice, comfortable, chill place, and we're going to keep doing it there if that works. But we may grow, and not all the things we want to do can probably be done there. So there's a couple things we're looking at
Oh
later
yeah,
on
and
in the
work
year.
groups. We kind of forgot to mention like the little work groups, like setting up wallets and
Right,
moving
right.
crypto.
Workshops and
Yeah,
things.
workshops. Yeah.
Absolutely. Like a lot of the stuff that you've probably already covered on some of your videos, we'll just do that in a
Yeah,
live
exactly.
format.
In person, hands on. Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. I would love to
So,
do that because that's what I do on the go. I think I've opened maybe 100 Edge wallets. Like I don't want to
right.
exaggerate, but like I feel like I have. I mean, on video alone, I think I've opened at least 25. So I'm constantly
That's
helping
a
people
lot,
set
man. Yeah.
wallets
So,
up. I deeply enjoy it, and I hope they learn from it. And before we wrap things up, I wanted to see what your take was on the market right here. I got the top 20 coins. I
okay.
think I can do a quick screen
Yeah,
share.
do a screen share. Let's do that. Nice.
Screen share.
It's cool too, man. I've been really good about
So
not
you
looking
can see
at.
my screen, right?
Yeah, it's a little small. Can you maximize that?
This is as big as I can make
Oh,
this.
okay. Still kind of hard for me to see. You know what? I'll just bring it up on my own
Yeah, bring up
browser.
Coin Market Cap on your end.
I've been really good about not looking at it more than like once or twice a day the last
Uh-oh.
week.
So today's the day to look.
What's going on?
All right, man. What are your
What's happening?
thoughts right here on this current stance? I see Ethereum just taking a crazy beating, and my thought is it's because of the atmosphere around the ICOs from the government, the SEC.
Wow.
So all those people that were throwing money into it, it was wild, wild west. Now we have,
Hmm.
a sheriff in town. It's more like the wild west, not as wild, but still a little wild. And maybe, we don't see that same amount of capital coming in that used to keep that market cap where it was. So that's my thoughts. I mean, what do
Yeah,
you
I mean,
think?
I think a part of that is those big whales like took profits and are kind of now like focused on other things temporarily. So we're talking about probably a couple 100 billion is sitting on the sidelines from we don't know who these people were that were manipulating the market, but they did a goddamn good job because it was moving like 100 billion or more in a day, and part of that was new money that was scared, but I don't know. I don't know what to think as far as like Ethereum. I mean, that's really low. Dash and Monero are both like, Dash was at 12, 1,300 bucks, I think, at one point. Um, I mean, I'm excited if EOS delivers. I'm really like waiting for something to happen with that. I don't know much about Stellar, but I would like to find out more. Cardano, I'm excited about, but it seems a little far
Yeah,
out
Neo.
too.
Neo's another one of my.
And
I like
Neo, yeah,
Neo.
Neo looks like a really good buy right now. The only thing I don't like here is Tether and F Classic. I don't know much about that or Icon or Qtum. What I have heard about V Chain was pretty positive. Tell you what I do like, man. It's a little lower down, but Populous is looking really good at $15. And I think that's, it's going to get. I think Populous has a lot of potential for adoption and use that could drive the price up, but we'll see.
I'm worried about a couple of these coins down here at the bottom. Like these, I can't believe we're still seeing Tron at number 13. Like,
Right.
personally,
I mean that's that speaks to how kind of like still weird and sketchy this whole world is,
I don't know, man.
But
It is sketchy. I mean, dude, I was just
damn, Steam
talking.
is down to 173 now.
I know, dude. I know, and I went all in on my Steam and I locked it into Steam Power. So
Oh, did you? Damn, I was hoping to sell some
yeah.
Steam. Oh,
Nah, I'm trying to accumulate. Digix Dow and oh wow, Verge is up 17%. I want to go here and do change to the 24-hour. And if you
okay.
click that, it should list the top ballers of the day. We got Verge number
There's really
1.
nothing. There's only four out of the top
That
100.
isn't that the point
And
though, right there? That's the point. There's
right.
nothing. These nobodies are the most profitable coins of the day. The nobodies that mean nothing.
Yeah, so there's really no trading going on, it looks like. I mean,
There's no way to call any of these, dude. The biggest loser of the day is Storm, which I've been seeing relentless ads on Facebook of, like just relentless. They will not stop advertising to me with that Storm coin, which is the biggest loser of the day. And right under them we have Ethos Gas, which I still get from my Neo, which used to be Ant Shares.
right. So
Salt.
how does that work? It's like a dividend on your gas holdings. How much do you get like per month?
I forget. It was like I think, dude. I don't know if I tell you, then I kind of like talk about my exact
Right, I
holdings.
got you. Okay, you don't have to necessarily get into that. I was just curious, like how it works mostly.
For like every couple hundred you hold, every couple weeks you get some gas. So it starts to add up after a few months, because
Okay.
every week you may get one or two gas, which is, like 20, what is it? 17, $18 right now, $19. So that
Yeah.
could be $19 a week. And if gas keeps going up and Neo keeps going up, I've been telling people because of that sentiment around ICOs, I really think these staking coins are going to see a lot of investors' attention when they start to understand the concept of staking. They're going to have, they want an institutional investor with a traditional mindset. They want to have their asset. They want to have their asset go to work, and they want to be able to get a loan on what that asset is worth, all at the same fucking time, which used to be sort of how BitConnect kind of looked, which wasn't really how it sounded, but how it looked. And it kind of is what staking is. You buy your house, which is your Neo. You stake it by having your, tenants give you a monthly rent or whatever, and then you can repurchase your Neo to, have more real estate, to have more room for more renters, to give you more income, to keep that going. So it's kind of what they're looking for, I think. They just don't know it yet because the space is so new. So I've been personally looking into staking coins like Decred and Pivx and
Yeah,
social wallet.
Populous is kind of like that. So basically, it's somebody that has accounts receivable wants to get a line of credit, basically. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but the system is there and it's being used. So I'm definitely into Populous. I don't have any yet, but I'm gonna get some soon.
I gotta look. Yeah, I gotta look into more of these coins. It's so many, and you know what? Some of them, like there still isn't even any tech behind them. It's like I gotta really like it because some of them, most of them, I'm not investing in it to make money. I'm investing in it hoping that my money makes it. Helps it become a thing. It's like a
Mhm.
GoFundMe. I'm not looking at a
Right.
GoFundMe to get any capital gains out of it. I'm looking at the GoFundMe like, well, if I can help raise money for a new fire department, if my shit's set on fire, kind of sounds like a good deal on my end to do that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. That's how I look at these ICOs sometimes or projects. I'm like, I wonder if I can just give them a little bit. If I talk about it, everybody gives them a little bit. They use it to actually become a thing, and we all get to utilize it, and that's the benefit. That's the
Right,
that's the
right.
gains.
We need to see more of these things actually coming out.
Soon, man. I'm telling you,
Right.
very soon. I really do. We've been going live long. Is there anything you wanted to get out and talk about? I don't mind. I could do this for hours, bro. You
Yeah,
you
no,
know me. I don't want to hold you hostage to conversation, man.
no, man, it's totally cool. I've been enjoying it. We've been talking about a lot of
Let's see
interesting
what anybody in the
things.
chat wants to talk about
Yeah,
before we
see if
wrap it
anybody
up.
has any
Anybody got
questions
any
for us.
comments, questions, anything that you guys want us to touch on before
Um,
we wrap it up and let
I,
Dan
I
get
think
back
we
to his life?
I think we covered a lot of it. The meetup is going to be happening tomorrow. If you're in the Philly area or not too far away, come check it out. We'll be having conversations like this and a lot of others related to crypto. A lot of uh, what I enjoy so much about it is like all these theoreticals that sound so futuristic. It's like they're all pretty close to happening. So it's really, really interesting.
We have
And
some interesting comments, actually, man. Good
okay.
guys. I like this. All right, so we'll go through this pretty quick. Question. The SEC freezes token trading for 12 months. Is this for new tokens or the tokens on the exchanges also? I do believe it's only going to be able to be enforced on new tokens. They can't stop the current ones from being traded wallet to wallet and stuff like that. They may be able to actually put some boots down, but I don't think they can stop it once the snowball is rolling. It's an avalanche, you know what I mean? But the
Yeah.
new tokens that are coming out, I do believe they're gonna enforce that, or they could enforce that. I don't know if they actually will. That may be like efforts burnt for no reason. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you're probably right. My understanding is that you have to kind of think about what would be required to enforce something like that, and no one really knows. I mean, obviously, there are people that can do some kind of forensic analysis and speculate as to how that might work, but I don't even think most people have the slightest idea how to enforce these kind of things. So it's mainly about them coming up with a decision, giving it some structure. It's like a lot of the new tax laws, they don't make much sense. You've got tax experts that have to really figure out. They gave us this 1,000-page
They
document.
have bounties for taxes, don't
What
they?
is
For
it? What the
people that
hell
can
does this
find
mean? So
loopholes.
I think it's probably the same thing with enforcing these ICO rules around crypto. So kind of just wait and see. Listen to some people who know what they're talking about, that are connected in some ways. I mean, we have a couple people again in the meetup who are pretty savvy on these kinds of things. Some are, more frequent attendees than others, but they're there. So, um,
And this one's related. Are most of the coins on exchanges going to be affected with the freeze? I think even worse with the delisting. I'm calling it the upcoming apocalypse of delisting.
right? Yeah,
I don't
I
think
gotta
people
find
are
out
ready for
what this
this.
list of coins is. I mean,
Oh,
I
it's going
guess
to be
it's
way
gonna.
bigger because the reason, guys, the reason Circle or the reason Poloniex sold out. First off, not why anybody bought anybody, but why did they sell is the biggest question. Think. Ask, why would you sell? The only reason Poloniex sold was because if they transferred ownership, the new owners had X amount of days to fall within regulatory guidelines and get away with all the past, bullshittery of the previous owners of said company, Poloniex. So these new owners are going to be doing, I think, a massive delisting of sketchy coins and probably freezing your account until you do a serious KYC. You may actually have to go to your bank and get some crazy
and
kind
you're probably
of
gonna get a lot of people really like worried and
I am still all in. I'm just saying,
right.
It's not always sunshine and rainbows. Sometimes you have a cloudy day, and then after that cloudy day, you can follow the rainbow to the pot of gold. If you give up just because it's cloudy and you go home and the rain stops and there's a rainbow and the pot of gold was just a couple feet from where you were standing, but now because you turned your back, it's miles from your point of view, okay, do that. But don't risk your mortgage on this. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm also saying if you have all your currencies on an exchange, because when I go to these conferences, everybody's all in on everything but Bitcoin and they're all in on exchanges. It scares me. I'm scared for them. I'm not trying to create FUD. I'm just saying stay skeptical and personal responsibility. We're saying cryptos to get rid of third parties, but you're creating dependence on third parties by using exchanges. If you really wanted to trade your Bitcoin for another coin, find somebody that you can trust that has Ethereum that you can trade for Bitcoin or whatever, because that's how we're going to farther the industry.
Right.
That's
definitely.
all I'm saying.
I mean, we're just conditioned to be relying on these trusted third parties, and it's taken a long time for people to get away from that.
If we keep sending our friends and family to Coinbase, we're making it worse. We're digging a hole and throwing the dirt right up in the air, midair. Just gravity's going to fill it again.
Right. Well, I mean, there needs to be more education about how to do it in a different way. I mean, that's
Bitcoin to your friends. Stop telling them where to go. You're where to go. If they asked you, you're where to go. And now you can say, hey, if you need to trade coins, trade with me. That's all I'm saying. We could do that. And I think that we have to, because exchanges will have to fit guidelines to stay, because they can't regulate us, but they can regulate the exchanges. So if your money is on the exchange,
good point. Definitely.
I'm not trying to create FUD. I'm trying to create awareness. And you should, the FUD would be saying that the dollar is going to collapse tomorrow, buy Bitcoin. That's FUD. That's FUD.
What else is going on?
All right, let's see. Yeah, dude, we got one over here. That's another good one. We have a few. Let me pick one here. Thanks, dude. Appreciate that. Somebody found me through crypto from Crypto's News, Omar Bam's show. Yeah, I was actually at his house in LA. That was fun. I'll be talking about that in the meetup tomorrow. What do you think about the current dip? We kind of went over that. It's to me, buying opportunity. I don't see much loss of support. The people we had coming into this space during the bull run was so much that Coinbase was measuring it in stadiums. Hundreds of thousands of people a month were opening accounts, and that was when Bitcoin was around 10 to 15,000. So I see the attention support very, very strong, and I think that FOMO is starting to kick in for people that were looking at $15,000 Bitcoin that are seeing it at a pretty decent buying opportunity. When you look at relevance, relevant to perspective, when did you get in versus when did they get in? So it's a good buying opportunity if you're in it for the long haul. Probably not for next week or next month. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think there's going to be probably another cyclical big price run up, maybe late spring, possibly sooner, possibly later, but it's definitely going to happen. Will it be, how dramatic will it be? It's hard to say. I mean, we're kind of in new territory as far as the, amount of money in the markets right now, but it's a pretty good time to buy in. I mean, prices could go lower.
We're too early.
It seems like the $300 billion range is kind of a resistance point that's being maintained. I don't know, how long it's been around this level. There's no kind of typical indicators like the stock markets. We don't have a 200-day moving average yet for, this kind of volume. We don't have a 100-day moving average yet. All that stuff's still being established, or maybe there's a technical trader out there probably who will tell me otherwise. That's my understanding, and I get markets pretty well, so it's. I think I don't know if we're at the very bottom of where it could go, but
Facts, guys.
we're
Wisdom.
fairly close to
Wisdom.
being a stable low point, I think.
Yo, what do you think about, real quick, before we wrap that up, I'll take this one last question here. If anybody has any, maybe I'll take one more, depending on how good it is. But what are your thoughts on Neo and it costing $35,000 at this time to open a contract? Me, I think from what I understand, Neo being that like the platform that they will be and all the things that they will do for the businesses that do open the contract, that's probably like a monthly cost to that business. So I don't see it as a big number. It might not be for what we thought, like mom and pop businesses and stuff like that, but I still see Neo as a viable source, as in comparison to something that may cost a lot more, especially using Ethereum. Like, I see Ethereum to the lawyers and politicians of tasks that need to be secured, as to Neo maybe being like sports betting or my video games or something. I don't know, or like how businesses use their employees' payroll and clock in, clock out, and paychecks get written off, stuff like that. Like, what are your thoughts on Neo and the cost of the network?
I don't really know enough about the Neo model to say if the $35,000 is expensive, or it's reasonably you know well priced or well thought out. Um, I mean, everything I've heard about Neo has been positive. The team, the people on the team, people's analysis that I read.
The only thing I don't
Um,
like is people
I-
keep calling it like Asia's Ethereum. It's its own
right,
thing. It's
right.
its own thing. They'll all use Ethereum and we'll
Right.
all use Neo.
It's a smart contract system.
Uses multiple
There's gonna be
languages, not just
there's gonna
Solidity.
be a huge demand for that. Like Kim was saying, like a lot of
And it's
lawyers
cost
are gonna lose
effective.
their jobs, or like it's gonna be partly automated through smart contracts, and that's gonna speed a lot of things up. It's gonna help businesses do a lot more. So in that respect, it's great. As far as the cost involved and like the specifics of what Neo is going to be used for and how it's going to work. I can't really, tell you much, unfortunately. Although I think it's worth following and paying attention to, and I think it's going to be one of the top projects in the coming years. So I'm into it.
Same, same. All right, guys. It looks like we just got people yelling facts. Good stuff. I said this weeks ago. PF Wells said that they wanted to interview me. I think I can't tomorrow. I got the meetup tomorrow. But hit me up on Facebook. It's like the best way. Or my number's on my website. I'll try to check my DMs. If you go to kenbozak.com, you can text me. I'm still that readily available. I'm not fucking famous or
Holler
anything.
at Ken.
Holla. I do have an assistant. You know what's funny? I have an assistant that I've used to, like, hey, email this person, email that person, try to organize a schedule for my interview with them. And my assistant quit because everybody wants to talk to me directly. So, like, I kind of
That's
insulted some people by sending out an assistant, and I was like, I'm not too big to talk to you or whatever. I'm just really busy. I've been traveling. So now it's like I've learned that I have to stay all hands on deck, at least for now, because that was awkwardly funny. And multiple people saying, like, why didn't you hit me up? And then my assistant basically quitting, saying, like, dude, it's all on you now. Too many people said, go screw yourself to
they,
me or
they
something.
couldn't take the pressure, man. You had
It's so funny.
too many demands on your time from external parties. Hey, listen, I got a question for you. If you can, who are the people that you're interviewing, if you're allowed to say beforehand?
Some people I
There.
have in the works right now. I like they're not scheduled dates yet, but it is lined up hopefully before the end of April. Cliff High. I reached out to Vitalik. I've reached out to Roger. Both have had some conversations.
Nice.
Hopefully we can iron that out.
Big fan
And
of Cliff High, so I'm excited for that.
well,
And I'm gonna actually try and insinuate or coerce my something so that I'm actually present with you when you're interviewing him, because I want to like be like, yo, ask him this, ask him, you got to ask him about
I'll
specific.
send him the chat
Clip
box.
talks a lot about things that are not talked about
You know
commonly
who
in
I
the news
did
in a
line
very
up,
interesting
and
way. In technology, it's in all these different parts of things going on planet Earth. So I just, if you're into kind of the more fringe parts of what crypto is all about, that's going to be a great one, as
I'm
well as the other
also
people that Ken's talking about. So let's wrap this up, man.
Yeah, dude, no,
All
I
right.
wanted to say real quick, I'm also interviewing Paul Pui from Edge, the founder of Edge. I'm going to get to
Oh,
talk to him.
nice.
Somebody did ask a question. I'm sorry I skipped over that zero to cash. I can't really answer it, but I will in that interview asking, or maybe somebody else asked, but they were asking about the difference between a hardware wallet and a software wallet and all that, and that will be answered in that interview, so just stay tuned, subscribe, click the alert bell. And I will be interviewing the controversial, at the moment at least, Vinny Liam of Civic, the founder of Civic CVC, which is one of my favorite freaking projects, period. Like, it's one of the most underrated blockchain projects. No one really talks about, but I like the idea. I like where it's going. So hopefully, but he's a big Bcash supporter, so we're gonna see what's
Nice.
up. It's gonna be an interesting interview.
Cool.
Yeah, so I got a couple that are actually lined up and on the books. But yeah, guys, so check out the links below. I want to let Dan go. I talk way too much. I had way too many Red Bulls. Sorry about that.
It's all good,
Quick,
man. I
quick
enjoyed
shout
it.
out
It
to
was good
everybody in the
talking.
chat. We had James, Sergio, Agartha, thank you. Capital Pink was here. DJ Me Popsicle, Free Skillshare Media was here. Robert S, thank you for stopping by. Bit Native was in the chat. Thank you, bro. Tracy was here. We got Dave. Hey, hodl for a lifetime. Oh, good point. I like that. Matt B was here. Thanks for tuning in, bro. I appreciate you stopping by. Zenzella, I like that. I don't know how to say it, but I like it. PFC Wells was here. How goes it? Crypto Info Fam, thanks for stopping by. Crypto Games. All right, guys, there was a lot of you here. Jeebus, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the info below for the Philly meetup. And if you have anybody in the area in Philly that should attend, make sure you send them that link. Maybe if you're in the area, you show up. Don't forget to click subscribe, flick the alert bell, and have a day. And give me about 10 minutes to turn this all off, because, like, it's a process.
That was pretty great, man.